Marianela, hola, how are you?
How you doing? I am so happy to
I'm
see you.
good. I'm good. We've been having issues connecting on Instagram because neither Marianela nor I are an active Instagram users. So apologize for those who are joining. It's super nice to have you all here, whether it's the morning, the afternoon, the evening, depending on where you're logging in from. My name is Aline. I am the co-founder and CEO of NaTakallam, a language learning platform where we hire tutors from refugee and conflict-affected backgrounds. I'm super excited to be here with Marianela, who has been a NaTakallam tutor for many years now, and feels like my family, almost maybe I can say my mother, my grandma sometimes, because it has this very loving relationship. And we decided to create these lives with our tutors because what is going on in the world on so many levels is really overwhelming, and perspectives are very complex and nuanced. And everyone knows that on January 3rd of this year, a unbelievable scene took place in Venezuela when the U.S. Captured the then president of Venezuela, Maduro, who'd been ruling with an iron fist the country for years and his legacy for decades, and was taken to the U.S. I don't think I need to go into the details of what happened, but we are here to hear from Marianela, her perspective as a displaced Venezuelan on the situation, because it is complex, and many might feel it is very paradoxical. So before even going into those details, Marianela, hola, un placer.
Hola,
Um,
hola.
Tell
Nice
us
to meet
where you are
all these
physically.
people. Yes.
Tell us where you're calling from right now, Marianela. Where are you based? Where are you living, and how long have you been there? And when did you leave Venezuela?
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet all of you. I left my country, I think, about 9 years or 10 years, no more. Maybe 2016 or 17. You know about the situation in Venezuela was really difficult to live there. No food, no medicine, nothing, no aspirin in the pharmacy, nothing. So I helped a lot in the protests in Venezuela. The people was in jail, or you can imagine everything. So I decided to leave my country, and I went to Costa Rica. I lived there maybe 5 years, almost. Not a really good experience, but because of me, not because of the country. Okay, my situation. So I was talking with my niece, my favorite niece, to come to live in Argentina. She was living in Trinidad and Tobago. She had a very bad experience there. And we decided to come here when she told me I am leaving Trinidad, I am going to Argentina, first Venezuela. I said, okay, I am leaving too. I took my things, sold a lot of things, and I came to Buenos Aires about almost 3 years and a half, maybe a little bit more. I am living in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Now you see me, I am in this way. It's really cold because I am in the other side of the country in La Patagonia.
I know Patagonia. It's beautiful, but it is cold.
Cold, but it's summer. It's summer. It's
Yes,
not cold.
yes, I know. Well, thank you so much, Marianela, for introducing yourself. And maybe do you want to just tell us a little bit about your involvement quickly with NaTakallam as a tutor, how your experience has been, and then we'll move on now to really talk about the politics of what has happened.
Well, I don't know exactly who gave you, NaTakallam, my CV, because I remember that a day you called me with Joe, Joel, who was working in NaTakallam. You called me, you introduced with me, and you making me interviews in English. And I remember, I think, not in Spanish, that happened maybe 8 years ago. I am really bad with the date. I am so sorry. But I suppose it's about, I remember that you didn't work before with the Spanish. I was your first teacher in Spanish. And it's a good experience. As I say always, Aline, I am so happy that you found me. It's a really pleasure to work with NaTakallam. You are nice people. And also, I like my students. They are people that really want to help refugees, really are interested about my situation and the situation in other countries. It's a pleasure to work with you. You are an angel to me. Always I say the same.
Thank you, Marianela. So, Marianela, we had heard for years from you why you left Venezuela, due to the leadership of Maduro, the legacy that Maduro represents, and the tragic horror, violence, and human rights violations, lack of freedom of expression taking place for years under his leadership. Where were you on January 3rd when he was captured by the Americans? And what was your immediate reaction? How did you feel?
First of all, I have to tell you that I never thought it was possible to me to see that this happened. I thought I will die as my mom. She was always waiting that no Chavez and after no Maduro. She died waiting, and I thought was maybe the same to me. I was in my house, I was sleeping, I never have a volume in my cell phone, so I never heard any message or something. When I wake up, I saw about 50 or 60 messages in my family WhatsApp group, and I thought something is happening. When I read the news, I couldn't believe that. Couldn't believe how was possible because I was have been maybe more than 20 years that we were waiting for this moment. We fight for this moment. We ask all the countries in the world help us. You know, a lot of things. When I read that, I was surprised, patient, pleasant, surprised. Was really good to me. I didn't like, and I don't like in the way that the things happen. I didn't like that United States was in my country, for example. But I understood that was the only way that this president, not that, sorry, this president in the United States was the only person that said, okay, I will do it. And he did. To me, it's not the best way, but I have to say thanks because I never thought that was possible that Nicolas Maduro and his wife, that is an awful person you can imagine. Her name in Venezuela was the first combatant, the first war. He had an awful name. All the people is criticizing Venezuelan people. I have read in the book, they said always, now Venezuela is free, you have to come, go back to your country, but it's not possible. I told you before, it's not possible. But my experience was really good. But at the same time, I was afraid, immediately afraid about my family and the people I know in Venezuela, because you cannot talk at all in Venezuela. But now it works. My family they don't say anything about what is happening in Venezuela. We don't talk about that. Oh, they are afraid. I am afraid about them. They can go to jail. I know people that have been in jail. That was the reason I left my country. That was the possibility that I was also to the jail. I didn't want to be in prison, for example. But of course, all the bad things that are happening in Venezuela that are awful, that a small part good is Nicolas Maduro and his wife are not in Venezuela. And we are waiting to see what is going to happen in the future.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can hear and understand what you're saying, and then you said it. It was it's a dream come true. You never thought you would see this day where he and his wife would be gone. Um, how do you feel about the current leadership in the country? How do you feel about the influence of the U.S. Right now in the country? Many Americans who are, of course, appalled by the Trump administration's moves, whether domestically within the U.S. or internationally, will flag that there was a violation of international law with the capture of Maduro. Interestingly, the country has not fallen into complete chaos, actually, because of the current leadership, which was Maduro's ally. However, we were talking a bit before about how you see her ruling and the current situation. So tell us a little bit more about that, the situation now in the current setup with the U.S. influence, and how are people feeling today in Venezuela with regards to their rights, the amount of freedom of expression they feel, and what are the changes that have taken place regarding political prisoners and so forth?
Okay, the first I would like to say is that we are talking about a really bad situation for more than 20 years. I have some words here that I wrote you before. Is repression, exploitation, harassment, sorry, human rights violation, rape of women, torture, prison, no food, no medicine, no gasoline, no gas. A lot of people in jail, political people in jail, just to say because they said something bad against the government or they were in a protest, or you cannot imagine how many things did that against them. Okay. This is happening for many, many years. When I was living 10 years ago in Venezuela, I had to make sure outside the supermarket for 7 hours, 8 hours just to buy some flour. I don't use now sugar, for example, because it's stupid to me to be 7 hours to buy sugar. But just to have an idea. In this moment, for example, my brother needs to leave the car in a station, gasoline station, because he needs maybe 2 or 3 days to have gasoline to produce petroleum. This is the situation now. The political prisoner, political
Prisoners.
prisoners, sorry, they are free now. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot. But many, many, many of these people die in the way. They say there was they died because they were sick, they died because this, but we know it's not the truth. Government killed them. People disappear in Venezuela a lot, a lot. Okay. Now the people, the first reaction of the people was, "We are free. We are free. Venezuela is free at least." Of course, we are not free now. We have a United States with their boot against us in Venezuela. I understand this. People cannot talk. People don't find anything, food or nothing. Oh, sorry, there is a little side. Um, we are not free, but the people feel that we are free. What I feel is, okay, we have United States saying what the government have to do. I understand that, but I have the hope that the things are going to be better soon. Soon. People talk all the time about Maria Corina Machado. I told you before. She was the person that won the Peace Nobel. We hope he's going to be the president in Venezuela, but it's not possible now. He cannot be in Venezuela now because he has no power. The police, the civil guard, the militaries, colectivos, I don't know if you know what is colectivos, all of them are in the side of the government. If Maria Corina Machado goes to Venezuela, she can die, or nobody is going to pay attention to her, even if she is the president. Nobody. So I think, if that's my opinion, that Donald Trump is not a person that I like a lot. I have to say the truth. But I think he's very intelligent, and the people who are working with him. He said it's not the time for Maria Corina Machado, and I think the same. The government have to be the same. That is, have been the last 20 years, is what the people know, this government. And while they do what Donald Trump and his government want, they will be okay. They are totally, totally afraid about the United States. Totally afraid.
Yeah.
That's why prisoners are free. That's why, do you know something? In Venezuela was not possible to talk. I told you before.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
possible. TV was closed, radio, everything. Nobody can talk about against the government. But now, in this moment, there is a channel, TV channel, the name Venezuelan, that starts to talk. They broke the chain.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
talking about everything. I don't know if it's possible or if they are going to have any problem, but they are talking about that. Radios are talking. People are talking. It was not possible to talk in Venezuela. This is something so big for us, really, really big,
Yes.
and special.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating, right, to hear this perspective and the fact that really for Venezuela, this is a complete, of course, it's a breakthrough, despite the fact that from a diplomatic perspective, right, from an international law perspective, that is also being criticized on so many levels. However, I think also you had, yes, yes.
I am going to close the window. Sorry.
Yes,
Somebody
of
is
course.
doing something, and the noise is getting me crazy. I am so sorry with the please, please forgive me.
No problem.
I think the
No
noise is
problem.
getting better. Continue, please. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying also, Marianela, what we had said before is that you know that the world was aware of, of Maduro's ruling, of Chavez, of the history of oppression. However, you were telling me no one actually really did anything from the international perspective. And so for you, that's why this feels like it is still a positive thing ultimately, right?
It's not good, but something is better now. Do you know how many times people in Venezuela ask for help to the United States, to other countries in Europe? Everybody, and the people always said, yes, we know this is not good. We have a meeting now. We are going to talk about Venezuela 1 year, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 years. And nobody, I think that nobody has the obligation to help us. I understand that. But now, after Donald Trump, that I repeat, I don't like him, after he did that, all people, including my students, told me, did you know that Donald Trump and his government only want the petroleum in Venezuela? Yes, I know that. I am not stupid. I understand that. But Russians that are in Venezuela a lot, China, you have no idea how many people from China helping the government. I mean, people from Cuba, a lot. All those people, they are not asking for the recipe to prepare any food. They want the petroleum, and they want the petroleum for free. The United States, we suppose they are going to pay in a correct way, and they are going to continue helping us. It's like that when a baby fell down, that you give your hand and help him to walk again, and in the future you will let him to do everything. We
Yeah.
are now like a baby. I am so sorry to say that, but that is what I feel. We need help. The only person that did something was Donald Trump. I like, no. I understand the human rights. I understand was not good, but what can I say?
Yeah, it's a very
Anyway,
clear reflection of the complexity of these issues and the nuances and how what might appear like one way to one person is very much lived in a different way by the other, especially those who are really living in the situation. And so, Marianela, so you have not been back to Venezuela since you left. That's correct, right?
no, so, only when I moved to Buenos Aires, I went to Venezuela because you know the problems, all the problems we have with many countries, a lot of countries, was not possible to have my new again my passport. I had to go to Venezuela, and I needed 8 months to receive my passport. And after I came here, maybe in the future, I am getting older, as old as us. Maybe in the future, because I have my own apartment, you know, I have a life there if I want to go back. Now I feel okay now. I don't live in the best way. I live in a really small apartment, but I have my job. I feel okay. I am okay now. And I hope things are better for all people in Venezuela, including my family. Okay. Something that I want to tell you is maybe you know about Donald Trump. He said no more petroleum to Cuba. For example, I like people from Cuba. People from Cuba are special people. Really, I think that, but not the government. The government from, remember that this is my opinion, okay?
Yes,
This is
this is your
according to my
opinion.
opinion.
Yes.
But the government in Cuba, from Cuba, are the people that teach people in Venezuela, the government, to do things, how to do, how repress, how to manipulate the news, the TV, the radio, how to hide the information that we don't know what is happening. Other way that I don't know if maybe you heard about that, some way, a way to the people doesn't pay attention what is happening in your country is maintain the people worry about gasoline, about medicines, about hospitals, about food, about everything. I remember that I wake up and the first thing in my mind was not my daughter, was where I am going today to buy food. And this happened in Venezuela and this happened in Cuba. So what I
Yeah.
would like is not that people from Cuba have a problems, not what I want. I would like that Cuba or United States or any people do the same in Cuba. It's enough. Enough is enough.
And so, Marianela, how is your family feeling today, and how would you feel about going back to and traveling back to Venezuela today?
I am not going back to Venezuela in the next year or something like that. When if I see that the things are there, I will be back visiting or maybe to live. I don't know now. My family, they don't talk about this at all. I talk, as I told you before, with my brother yesterday. Okay, like we are now, we talk about everything, but write messages or something. No, we don't do that. They are,
Yeah.
they are, they are not super afraid, but they know it can be a problem. I know people, for example, my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, his brother, his niece, they have been in jail. They had to leave the country because of that. People, the alcalde, I don't know, mayor, I think, in the government, that I know good was a baby. I carried him when he was a baby. He's now in the United States with his family, his parents, everybody. He was in jail. I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we don't live in Caracas. We live about 16 hours from Caracas by car. It's difficult. The life in Venezuela is better, but it's worse at the same time. People from the government are we say the word killing, but they are not killing, but it's a word between them. People is in jail. Um, People disappear. People
Yes.
die. They were killed. Other people, two important persons, are now in jail, waiting to go to United States. Really, two really bad people. I hope things will be better. I have this hope, really.
No, I can understand this perspective, and I have definitely heard it from several Venezuelans, and so it is, I guess, a moment to watch and to see how things evolve. It just seems, we live in a world now where everything is unpredictable and can change very rapidly. But interestingly, for you, it is a positive change. So this is nice to hear because we're used to hearing such heavy news and despair. But from your perspective, you shared with me that you feel hopeful and that you feel that Venezuela is going in a better direction.
Yes, yes, I think so. I is you have to live. I cannot tell you that because you know about that. But you have to be in the place. When there are much people in the world that criticize Venezuelan people or Cuban people or Russian people, you know, all the time this that happens. You have to live in the place. We are not talking about a crisis for 2 years or 5 years, maybe 25 years. It's awful, really awful. In, when maybe I said that many times, I used to, it's not my favorite person in the world, my Donald Trump, but it's the only one who did something. How is that possible? It's possible that people from Colombia, from Brazil, from all South America, nobody did something. So it's okay. If you don't do anything, it's okay. It's your
Yeah.
decision. I understand that. Please don't open your mouth just to say, okay, you are a stupid person. Donald Trump only wants your petroleum, your diamonds. But what can we do? What can
Yeah.
we do?
Yeah. No, I understand.
Sorry, I would like to ask you, do you think there is any question or something interesting that any person can send? Or
Does anyone have any additional question you're asking for those who are following? Is that what you're saying?
maybe there is a
Well, we can ask those who are listening, our little group of listeners, does anyone have a question for
no, I thought that
Marianela?
they were writing. I thought that they were writing. That's why I asked you. No, don't worry. It's only a question.
Well, I think Marianela, we've covered a lot, and I think it's very, very interesting to hear your perspective. And so, thank you so much for taking the time with us right now to explain the perspective of a displaced Venezuelan who has had multiple stories of survival, and you're surrounded by people who've been imprisoned, abducted, and so forth. It is heartwarming to hear that for you this is a step forward. It's really nice to feel that's positive from your perspective. I think we will all watch closely how things evolve. For anyone who would like to learn Spanish while supporting
Oh, you're already
displaced persons, please consider. You could work with individuals like Marianela. NaTakallam also prides itself on doing what we just did now, which is bringing to the surface the stories, the nuance behind the headlines, behind what is hearsay, and so also Marianela has shared her story with many young learners in classrooms and universities around the world. So that is also something that you can do with us here via NaTakallam. So please do spread the word. Marianela, un placer siempre y muchas gracias por su tiempo.
Gracias.
And
I would like to say something before we finish.
yes.
I am really happy that you are interested. I mean, you and NaTakallam about the situation in Venezuela, because people always think in the United States, Europe, but Venezuela, we are a country. We need to. Now we are receiving a little bit, it's not the best, but it's okay now. Let's see what's going to happen in the future, and hope everything is going to be okay. Thank you so much for all the people that were listening this program. Besos.
Besos. Ciao, ciao, Marianela.